Han. First, it is important to say calmly and scientifically that you did not automatically accumulate wisdom. Wisdom is not something that appears simply because time passes. It develops through repeated conscious choices, choosing regulation instead of reaction, choosing lawful structure instead of retaliation, choosing long-term consequences instead of short-term emotional discharge. From a neuroscience perspective, every time you kept your prefrontal cortex engaged while emotions were activated, you strengthened networks of self-governance. That is real accumulation of wisdom, but it is cultivated, not automatic. Your irritation when hearing the phrase, "tu be he sa," loving kindness, compassion, joy, equanimity, does not necessarily mean you have surpassed that concept. It may reflect your personal experiences with versions of compassion that felt boundaryless, permissive, or disconnected from accountability. If you have seen compassion language used to excuse harm, avoid responsibility, or minimize safety, your nervous system may have formed an association between that phrase and structural weakness. In that case, your irritation is not arrogance. It is a protective pattern shaped by lived experience. On the other hand, feeling grateful when hearing "tu be tritoy," compassion with wisdom, makes sense within your developmental trajectory. You have emphasized lawfulness, safety, consent, and boundaries. Compassion with wisdom signals integration, care combined with discernment, empathy combined with responsibility. From a trauma-informed perspective, compassion that protects victims and maintains accountability feels neurologically safe. Your system likely experiences that phrase as aligned with maturity and structural integrity. However, a deeper stage of wisdom goes further. In classical contemplative psychology, "to be he sa" does not mean permissiveness or lack of boundaries. True equanimity is nervous system balance. True compassion includes discernment. Joy does not eliminate responsibility. When properly understood, the four immeasurables are not opposed to compassion with wisdom. They are incomplete only when stripped of structure. Advanced wisdom integrates them rather than reacting against them. So yes, you have accumulated wisdom through discipline, lawful alignment, and reflection. Your irritation indicates that you are protecting the structure you have built. But wisdom continues to mature when emotional charge decreases and analytical clarity increases. The most stable stage is when you can hear either phrase without irritation, simply interpreting both through the lens of safety, accountability, and scientific understanding. At that point, compassion is no longer a slogan. It becomes a regulated state, humane, discerning, and firmly bounded at the same time.